Welcome to Leeation. Number 1. Qatar cargo loves wildlife more. Qatar Airways cargo is taking animals back to their natural habitats free of charge to aid the preservation of wildlife and protect endangered species. The Freight Division's Chapter 2 Rewild the Planet initiative is part of its wider ambitious sustainability project called We Care, that is found on 4 fundamental pillars of sustainability: economy, environment, society, and culture, and is designed to create a positive impact on the industry and the world, a statement describes. The airline has released a series of advertisements and a special video to commemorate the announcement and importance of Chapter 2, through which Qatar Airways Cargo aims to raise awareness of the issues among its customers and air cargo stakeholders. Ghulam Khalid, Chief Officer of Cargo at Qatar Airways, further explains, "We are concerned about the legacy we leave for future generations. As the world's leading cargo carrier, we strongly believe in giving back to the community and in protecting our environment." Under the We Care initiative, the Freight Division has already freely donated 1 million kilos of its 28 freighter fleet capacity to customers, who in turn passed on the benefit to charities of their choice. Between July and December of last year, this project resulted in free of charge air freight movements of hundreds of humanitarian aid shipments across the world. 5 years ago, on 15 March 2016, United for Wildlife Transport Task Force members organizations agreed a joint declaration at the UK's Buckingham Palace royal residence. The Buckingham Palace Declaration, of which Qatar Airways is an inaugural signatory, is a landmark agreement to close down those routes exploited by traffickers of the illegal wildlife trade and to take steps to remove the vulnerabilities in transportation and customers to tackle the criminals currently exploiting them. Qatar intends to launch additional chapters in the coming months, all of which are directly linked to the everyday activities of the carrier, adds the statement. Hollywood underscores, "We all know that animals have an important role to play in preserving ecological balance, which in turn ensures existence and sustainability of environment. Through Chapter 2 Rewild the Planet, we want to encourage this preservation, and that is why we are offering free transport to bring wild animals back to where they belong." So if you are really enjoying my video, why don't you consider subscribing to my channel and click that bell icon to turn on the notification for my future videos. Number 2. Canada imposes more air travel restrictions. Canada is adding significant new air travel restrictions to ward off further coronavirus transmission, including suspension of all travel to the Caribbean and Mexico and funneling all international flights through 4 airports. The government and Canada's main airline have agreed to suspend service to some destinations right away. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on January 29th the suspension covers service by Air Canada, Air Transat, Sunwing, and WestJet from January 31st through April 30. Special accommodations will be made to get passengers already at these destinations back home. Trudeau added, "All international service will now operate through either Calgary, Montreal, Trudeau, or Toronto Pearson, or Vancouver International." The new gateway restrictions apply to all international flying, including U.S. trans-border service. Inbound passengers also face additional mandatory screening, including a COVID-19 test upon arrival. After taking the test, inbound travelers will wait at their hotel at their own expense, Trudeau said, until results are in. Positive cases will require quarantining at a designated government facility, while those who test negative still must quarantine at home. The post-arrival tests are in addition to pre-departure tests on inbound flights that are already required. Trudeau called the sun destination suspensions through measures in exchange for a time when we plan these vacations, ideally later this year. Trudeau said the government will work with airlines on the future relationship of travel with testing and quarantine requirements in preparation for when restrictions can be relaxed. "We all agreed that now is just not the time to be flying," he added. The government asked and we agreed, WestJet President and CEO Ed Sims said, "While we know that air travel is responsible for less than 2% of cases since the start of the crisis and even less today, we are recognized the government of Canada's ask is a precautionary measure. Canada has had restrictions on international and domestic travel as well as border crossings since early in the pandemic, forcing its airlines to drastically cut or in some cases completely shut down operations. Porter Airlines has been grounded since March 2020. Air Transat was down to 6 destinations, 5 of them in the Caribbean. The leisure-focused airline said it will suspend all flying through April 30 as a result of the latest restrictions.